I guess the latest development here is the Dorothy Day House has been sold, kind of talk a little bit about that process, please.
Yeah, so as of Friday, July 24th, Churches United has sold the Dorothy Day House to local developer Tyler Lindell. It's a process that's been 2 years in the works. Churches United paused operations at Dorothy Day House in May of 2024. That was a different time in our organization. It was a financial decision to help keep our organization stable. We were never able to bring Dorothy Day back online, and so the board and I have spent the last 2 years trying to figure out a new way, a new partner, new funding source to help keep the building open. But there were significant facilities maintenance issues that prevented us coming back online, and so we tried a bunch of different ways to reopen. We tried finding partnerships, and at the end of the day, it just became to the point where the house became a liability for Churches United. And so the most financially prudent thing to do was to find a buyer that could do something productive for that property.
Can you say how much it was sold for?
Yeah, so it was just under $200,000.
How will that $200,000 now be used to, go forward with Churches United's mission?
Yeah, obviously there was some related costs to the sale, and so it will help cover those. Now we look to this next chapter. The need for more services for those who are unhoused, the need for helping to find housing for others, like the campus that we're on now, Bright Sky Apartments, Silver Linings. So right now, that money goes back to our operational fund, and we look to the next chapter. What next can we provide to our community to help take care of our neighbors?
As much as you didn't want to get rid of it, how much does that $200,000 just help? Because, the financials situation of Churches United has been kind of in the news the last 2 years.
The $200,000, well, most of us think that's a big chunk of money, right? In the grand scheme of things. It wasn't so much about the money and what we got for the property. It was more about, we also couldn't sit back and watch the house fall into dilapidation, right? We didn't want that to become an eyesore on 8th Street in Moorhead, in addition to the fact that it just was a liability. When people find out that it is a vacant house, obviously there's those that try to get in, and so, it's no secret, a couple of years ago, we had an issue where during the winter, pipes froze, and so we had some water damage in there, and it was just time to move on. So while the money certainly is good for the organization, it's not money that we needed to keep our doors open.
Right, sorry, and I hope you didn't think I was trying to allude to that, and I wasn't. I was just kind of curious. Yeah, it looks like though it's going to be demolished, and it looks like it's going to be demolished, and he plans to make it into multi-family apartments, and he's going to pay tribute to Dorothy Day. And the planned buildings looks like mailbox room.
Yeah, so I've had a chance to speak with Tyler, and we walked the building together on the last day. He's very excited to have participated in the history of this building. He understands the legacy of the Dorothy Day House, and he does want to pay tribute. There are some interior things that he is going to preserve and build into this next facility, whatever it is that he builds. His goal is to have some type of homage to who Dorothy Day was and the house. And so anyone that would come in and be living in that new apartment building would understand what was on that site for so many years, which, for 40 years it served faithfully as a shelter.
I guess then, any idea, did he indicate when he plans to demolish it and start building?
I don't.
Okay.
We talked briefly on Friday, and knowing Tyler and his investments, I don't think he's going to sit on it very long. He moves pretty fast, and I think we could all be excited for something new in that area for our community, and I just can't wait to see how it is that he incorporates some of those historical features of the house.
What do you mean by that?
So there are some wood ornamental things in there. He's talked about possibly preserving the front door that many came through, and it is a grand, larger than life front door, just bigger than what we build nowadays. And so there were some inside the house. There were some architectural features that he was going to try and save, and then incorporate that into that mailroom piece.
As much now that it's been sold, what's it like, moving forward for Churches United without the Dorothy Day House? Even though it's been closed, now that it's officially not part of Churches United anymore.
Yeah, it leaves a big hole in our heart. While we progressed down this path over the last 2 years, knowing that we had to do the financially prudent thing, I think all of us held a little piece in our heart thinking that the miracle would happen. That there was a partner that would step forward and say, hey, let's partner and make, and fix it for this use, or that there was, a philanthropist that might have seen the value in keeping that house and keeping it in service. And it existed for 40 plus years, and there were a lot of people that poured their hearts and minds and souls and money into it. I have a lot of people in the community that will come up to me and tell me their connection to the house, whether they had a loved one that had lived there, whether they served there, whether they were a confirmation class that came through and cooked a meal. I think Moorhead was very proud of that house and its service, and so as an organization, we took many things from the house as well. I don't know what that looks like in the future. We're trying to figure out how it is that we can also pay tribute to the house. But yeah, it lingers, and you can't help but wonder the what ifs, right?
What do you mean by that?
What if something would have come through? What if that miracle would have landed and somebody would have said, hey, we'll pay for the renovations? What if there was a community organization that would have said, yeah, we see your vision, let's make it a retreat center. You dream about that, but also our job is to look forward.
Okay, I think that's it, unless there's anything else.
I'll throw a couple at you here.
Sure. Is it all right if I just say, Matt?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna keep rolling on you though.
Sure, yeah.
Okay, good. Go ahead, Adam.
I'm listening to you guys talk, and I think like bittersweet, and I think that this helps the mission move forward in just so many positive ways. And how do you think that this can positively impact the services that we're able to provide?
Yeah, I think there's a plus space and there's a negative space, right? From a plus standpoint, while it is bittersweet that we have turned the house over to a developer, I also hope that with stories like this, it keeps the great need in the community's mind. At the bottom line, this is 15 emergency shelter beds that we once had and were able to serve people, and that we don't have any longer. So I am hoping that that stays in the community's forefront, because services are needed. And so there's a plus from that. The negative side is that it also doesn't become a liability to the organization, right? Should something terrible have happened at the house or with the house, that would have been a distraction to the organization, in addition to it would have caused us harm, right? And for an organization that serves 500 people plus a day, we have to focus on what is the wise thing to do. And so I hope that through the sale of this house that people can understand the great need that Fargo Moorhead has to serve our unhoused neighbors, and any story that keeps that in our consciousness is a good thing.